Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first video with me. I like to get straight to the point of things, so I'm going to tell you immediately what we're going to talk about today, what we're going to learn together today. Since you highly enjoyed those videos where I would explain verbs to you, I decided to keep on adding on different videos about this. So today we're going to focus on two more verbs that are very common Italian verbs used every day in everyday Italian language, but are those verbs that sometimes make us pause and say, am I using the correct one? So I'm talking about, am I using andare or do I have to use venire? So if you are confused about the use of these two verbs, especially when we're using prepositions with them, then you are on the right video, because today I'm going to be explaining to you the conjugation of the present tense, because it's always very nice to review it. It's going to be very quick. And then we're going to be looking at how we're using them with specific prepositions. Okay? So let's start immediately by analyzing the meaning of these two verbs. These two verbs are verbs that are used to talk about a movement. Andare means to go. And you're going to use this verb when you're talking about a movement towards a person or towards a place. How do you conjugate this at the present tense? I know that sometimes verb conjugations can be boring, but it's important to remember them and to review them, especially with irregular verbs like these. Okay, andare is irregular. I suggest that you take a notebook and you write it down. You write the conjugation down and you repeat them. You're in the shower taking a shower, just in your head start going andare. So you start from your head. Io vado, tu vai, lui, lei va, noi andiamo, voi andate, loro vanno. Repeat it over and over. Put it into your little schedule. Find a moment to repeat these words, these conjugations, so that you remember them, okay? Because that's the key. You have to know how to conjugate it before you put it into a sentence, okay? So that was the conjugation at the present tense of the verb andare. And now let's look at this verb with the prepositions. So you're going to use andare with preposition da when you're talking about going towards a person. For example, I'm going to Maria's. You're going to say vado da Maria. Maria is a person, okay? Vado dalla nonna. Vado dal farmacista. I'm going to the pharmacist. Farmacista is the name of the profession, but it's the name of a person, okay? So you're going to use andare da when you're going towards a person. If you're going towards a place, you're going to use andare a. Sabato vado a Milano. So Saturday, I'm going to go to Milan. Milan is a place, so you're going to use andare a. Vado a Roma. Vado a Torino. Vado a Parigi. Get the feeling? Okay. You can also use it with articulated prepositions, okay? If you need to review those, find the link here below. But you can also say vado al cinema. Vado al ristorante. Okay? So remember, andare da, you're going towards a person. Andare a, you're going towards a place. If you need to just focus on what I'm saying, but you still want to take notes on this, remember that you have many options. You can download the entire lesson in PDF format by clicking on the link below. You can look over and over and over and over these videos, of course. And also you can find all this information on my website at italianlanguagehub.com. So if you don't like to click on links, you will find all of this beautifully written out for you on my blog page. Okay? Now, let's look at the other verb, the verb venire. Venire means to come. Okay, that's how you translate it. There are some shades of this verb that needs to be understood, especially when we're matching it with prepositions, but we'll get to that. First, let's focus on the conjugation. Io vengo, tu vieni, lui, lei viene, noi veniamo, voi venite, loro vengono. Once again, write it down on your notebook. Put it into your habit Italian schedule, okay? Find a way to remember these conjugations. This is at the present tense, of course, but start from that and build on, okay? Now, how are we going to use this verb with the prepositions? Well, the same way that we did with andare. So you're going to use venire da when you're talking about people. And you're going to use venire a when you're talking about places. As I said, venire means to come. And this verb is used when the movement is occurring within the place where the person speaking or the person that we are referring to is going. Let's look at some examples to make this clear. If I said, stasera vado al cinema. Vuoi venire? As you can see, the person speaking is going to a place. And you're using venire to say, hey, do you want to come with me? Okay, so you're going to be going to the place where the person speaking is going to go to. Okay, let's look at some more examples. Vieni dal dottore con me? Ho paura! Okay, in this case, you're using venire plus the preposition da. In this case, it's going to be an articulated preposition. It's going to be dal. You're talking about a person, so you're saying venire da when you're mentioning a person. Venire dal dottore. On the other hand, if you're using preposition a, you're going to refer to places. So if I say vengo a casa tua per le 18 e andiamo al ristorante. You see that I'm using venire a casa. Casa is a place. So I'm using venire plus the preposition a. Okay, I want to confuse you a little bit now. No, just kidding. No confusion, just an extra information. There are specific situations in which you are not going to use preposition a when you're talking about places, but you're going to use preposition in. We have talked about this in one of the previous videos, which I will link here below, but just as a quick review, remember that when you're talking about going to like generic places, like the bank, the library, the bakery, and so on, you're not going to use preposition a, but you're going to use preposition in. For example, take the verb andare. You will say andare in banca. Domani vado in banca. Andare in biblioteca. Andare in pasticceria. Andare in palestra. Also, when you're talking about some geographical areas. For example, going to the mountains, going to the countryside. Andare in montagna. Andare in campagna. You will also use preposition in when you're talking about countries. So when you're saying that you're going to a country, okay? Andare in Spagna. Andare in Francia. Also, when you're talking about continents, andare in Europa, andare in Asia. Same thing where you're talking about regions, andare in Umbria, andare in Lombardia, andare in Sicilia, okay? So as always, you do have modifications and exceptions, especially when you're working with those terrible prepositions, which everybody hates. I know. I do. I hate them. Another very important thing that I want to tell you with the verb venire is that when you're using venire da, you can also use it to say where you are coming from in terms of origins, or also simply saying that 5 minutes ago I was in another place and I came from that location to this location. Let's look at some examples. Da dove vieni? Vengo da Parigi. In this case, it could be your origins. So I am originally from Paris, so I say vengo da Parigi to tell you where my birthplace is, where I basically have lived all my life, or simply saying that I just came off a plane that before was in Paris, and so I came from that location an hour ago, okay? Vengo da Miami, vengo dalla banca, vengo dalla palestra, okay? Meaning I'm coming here from the gym. That's where I was like 10 minutes ago, okay? So remember that you can also use it like this. Vengo da to talk about where you're coming from or where your origins are, okay? I hope I cleared up some doubts on this. Remember to download the PDF, and if you want to practice, I suggest to write some sentences in the comments here below. I'm always more than happy to write corrections for you. I might be a little bit slow because lots of you are writing comments, so I try to keep up. If I don't, send you a feedback immediately, just send me an email or just wait, I will get to it, okay? I promise, okay? This is it for today. I'll see you next week. Un bacione, ciao.